So if you're a contractor and you know you need a new website, when should you do it? I walk you through which different scenarios you could be in that will dictate should you do it when you're busiest or when you have a bunch of free time on your hands. Figure out which group you're in now. Hey, this is Logan Shinholster with Contractor Growth Network, and I want to walk you through exactly the different scenarios of when during the year you should actually get your website built. First and foremost, is there a perfect time to build your website? And the answer is really no. Right? It's kind of like getting engaged. I know for me, I've had this long-time girlfriend, and I'm talking to my buddy, and I'm like, yeah, I'm waiting for the right time to get engaged, and he said, it's never going to be the right time. There's always going to be a reason to wait. Whatever that is, you're always going to find something, and I thought, that's exactly right. It's like that old verbiage or that old phrase of the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, the second best time is now. That's the same thing with this, because it's not like you launch a website and then all these customers immediately flock to you, because unfortunately that's just not how it works. It's like joining a networking group. You don't show up the first time to a networking group and go, well, I went one day and now all the leads should be coming in. It takes time to build a relationship, and that's exactly what happens with your website online. Now, with that being said, if you're in a seasonal business, which most contracting industries are, especially the ones that we work with, landscaping because they're outside, remodeling, you've got, nobody really wants you to come and redo their kitchen during Thanksgiving or Christmas, painting's the same way. So you're gonna have a bit of variability in the overall schedule. So when should you actually get your website done? Now, here's what I will say. It's going to be different based on two different factors. The first one is going to be your organization as a whole, meaning if you're a one-man show, it's going to be different than if you are the CEO of a larger company where the company kind of runs itself a little bit more so, and you work more outside the business. If you're a one-man show and you're the one that has to actually do all the work all the time, then you're going to be in a different boat. Let's break that down real quick. So let's say you are a one-man show. All right, it's just you, and you need to get this marketing done. The best time to do this is when you have time that you can actually dedicate to this. All right, what I find a lot of contractors, especially the ones that are just starting out or they're really a small operation, is they are the ones that say, well, I can't get on the phone outside of before 7 a.m. and after 9 p.m. Well, website companies don't really operate at 10 p.m. So if this is that serious to you, then you should be able to make time during the day to get whatever you need, because a website really should be a process. It's a partnership, right? Like your website as a contracting company really is this online portal for your customers to come and learn more about what you do and how you can help them and why you're different. So this is really a revenue generating tool. And if you can't make time for that, like whenever, if I ever get like a lead form that somebody they can only meet at these crazy hours, I realize that this is not that important to them because they can't even stop for a half an hour to talk about the future of their company. And if that's the case, then they're not taking it that seriously, and then I'm okay with not working with them. So if you're a contractor, you have to understand that this is gonna be give and take a little bit, all right? I know for us, our goal is to make it less than 2 hours total for the contractor, and an hour up front to talk about everything, and then an hour spread out throughout the project where they just have to check on stuff, things like that. And you may think, well, 2 hours is not much at all. Like that's minimal. I can make that happen. You would be shocked how easy it is as a contractor to get busy. You're in the field, and the last thing that you want to do is, at the end of the day, after a long day of work, come home and spend 3 minutes checking on something. Okay? So if you're a one-man show, find the time to make it happen. And if you absolutely cannot because your business is kind of, flying by the seat of its pants, then pick a time more like winter, when it is in the off season for you. All right? Because if you're still balls to the wall, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., you're working your butt off and you can't step away for 5 minutes, which that should tell you in itself there's something wrong with the actual business model itself. But if you can't, then you should be doing this more so in the wintertime, because now you can actually dedicate time towards this. Because if you have a website company that says, don't tell us anything, we'll make it all happen for you, well, it's going to become a very generic website, and generic websites attract generic people because it shows the contractor as being generic. So if you are generic in what you do, then it makes sense to get a generic website. But if you're special, And I'm not talking just custom. I mean, if there's something different about your company than your competitors that your customers know about, then you may not want a generic website because you're going to be painted as one of the many. All right, so that's the first thing to think about is how busy are you? Now, if you're on the flip side and you're more of a CEO role or you're working on the business, the best time to do this is going to be when you're the busiest. And here's what I mean. First off, a website, again, is an investment. What typically happens is if you're seasonal, and let's say the wintertime is a slow season for you, that's when you have the most time on your hands. That's also when you're most nervous about spending and investing money. Right? A website is, again, an investment. It's like hiring a new salesperson, right? If you hire a new salesperson in the wintertime, that's great because now you have all this time to practice, you can role play, you can start to, get them involved in your system, but you're probably mentally a little bit worried that, well, what happens if they can't sell right now? Even though that's probably the best time to do it is when they actually have time to train. And that's kind of how the website is, but the opposite. And what I mean by that is when you do this in the summertime, your website, and I have a couple pulled up here, your website should be very picture heavy. It should show your work. And what happens is if we build it in the wintertime, most contractors don't have the photos necessary. Here's what I mean. A website that has photos like this professionally shot, they can dictate their price to future customers so much easier because of the photo quality. It shows, first off, they prioritize their work. They like what they do and they're proud of it enough so that they're going to spend $1,000, $2,000 on a photographer to get out there and actually take photos. Same with this, right? When you take professionally shot photos, it is going to help you sell that much more and it's going to put you in its own class, right? Nobody's going to be calling you up. Like we just redid this one with new photos and the leads have taken off compared to before. And it's all because we're showing the dream. That's what we want to do is we want to show the destination. And what most contractors do is they don't schedule this stuff out. So when it comes time in the winter to build a website, they don't have the photos necessary, right? They don't have all the material, all the things that really make them stand out because in the wintertime, you can't get outdoor photos. And what most contractors do, even if they're inside, which means that you could do it in the wintertime if you want, it's then odd because you have to ask the homeowner, hey, I know we finished this 6 months ago, can we come back in and take photos? Instead of just doing it there at the very end of the project. So striking iron while it's hot, when you're busiest, is going to be best because the motivation behind getting pictures done is much easier when you have, let's say, for example, a website coming up. It's like working out, right? If you have a set end goal in mind, let's say you got to run a marathon, you're way more likely to go out there and actually train during the week running because you know you got to run this marathon versus if you just ran to run. Oh yeah, I'm doing a marathon in a year and a half. You're not really going to go out there and train. But if you have a marathon coming up or that you're training for that you need to really be getting out there and running, you're more likely to do it. So if it's summertime and it's busy and you got it, you got crews running, make sure you make time to go out, get professionally shot photos. And the reason that you want to get the website done when you're busiest is because you have the cash flow for it to invest. And two, you're in this mindset where you're getting these photos taken because there's a reason you need these photos taken. If you're not getting the website done, you're going to slack on getting these photos done. And then when it comes time to actually getting the website done, you're going to be stuck with nothing. I know it sounds kind of far-fetched, but I can't tell you how many times we build websites for people. And if they don't have professionally shot photos or at least good photos in general, they get very frustrated because they kick themselves and they go, damn it, there's a great project that we did that I should have a professional photographer to go out to. Let me call the customer back up. And it's like 8 months later and the customer, they've already moved back in. And a lot of customers are like, no, like this is my personal space. It's busy now. I don't want a professional to come in because they're embarrassed by like the clutter or something. So long story short, the best time as a contracting company to get your website done is when you are in your busy season, unless you are a one-man show, and in which case you need to be getting these photos yourself, and then you can do this when you actually have time to dedicate. There you go. If you want to check out more about our website process, head over to contractorgrowthnetwork.com. You can see examples, you can see investment options, and you can see actually how we build the website itself. Contractorgrowthnetwork.com. Thanks.